my ears.
Woke her up.
I'm sure they can hear you from here. So loud. Hi guys.
Ooh. You don't want to be talking to me on the phone. Anyway, I don't like talking on the phone anyway. I'm not a phone person. Do you want to do the talking?
No, I don't.
Oh, charming.
Okay, so we're reacting today on 15 things you didn't know about India. Yeah? Is that the one we're doing?
Yeah, it'll be interesting because I have no idea what we're going to expect. But I guess we're going to learn something new. Or we might not learn nothing new, but hey, let's check it out.
"15 Things You Didn't Know About India." Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired.
Okay.
Hello Aluxers, and welcome back to another fascinating video. Today we're looking at incredible facts you didn't know about the 7th largest country in the world, India. With a population of over 1 billion people, India is one of the most influential and powerful countries in the world. Its cultural history is particularly complex and detailed, spanning 4,500 years of predominantly Hindu philosophy and theology. Thousands of years later, modern India is profoundly different, with its own colossal film industry, a diverse population, and an astonishingly big workforce. Because Alux.com is dedicated to becoming the world's best resource on the most interesting countries and destinations, we couldn't wait to bring you 15 things you didn't know about India. Number 1. Bollywood's highest-grossing film made 27 times more than Hollywood's highest-grossing film. For every 600 films Hollywood produces, Bollywood will make 1,000. They're the most profitable films, too, when you compare the numbers. Hollywood's highest-grossing film was 2009's Avatar, which made $2.8 billion at the box office. In stark contrast, the Bollywood film 3 Idiots brought in $76.81 billion. Now that's a profit. Number 2. Shampoo was invented in the 16th century, India. Derived from the Sanskrit champu, which means massage, the concept of shampooing was invented in India in the 16th century. Herbs and natural ingredients were used then, rather than today's combination of modern chemicals and fragrances. In particular, gooseberry, sapindus, and fruit pulp. When colonial visitors came to India, they brought the practice of shampooing and hair washing back with them to Europe. Number 3. Diamonds were first mined in India, and it was the world's greatest producer. India was the most productive diamond mining country in the world until diamonds were found in Brazil in the 18th century. There are now 3 active diamond mines in India, and the famous Kohinoor diamond was found in the 13th century. The 793-carat stone went from person to person and was eventually acquired by Queen Victoria during the British Raj in India.
Still here now.
Number 4. Elephants in Kerala can treat themselves to a spa day. Punathur Kata Elephant Yard Rejuvenation Center provides elephants with baths, massages, and soothing pamper sessions. The spa caters to 59 clients and is a way of giving back to the sacred animals. Elephants play an important role in Kerala's temple processions and are a significant feature of the region, so they deserve a massage every now and then.
Oh, that's so good of them.
Number 5. The largest religious gathering in India can be seen from space. Kumbh Mela is a Hindu pilgrimage which takes people to the banks of the Ganges every 12 years. The major event involves ritualistic bathing, devotional singing, religious discussion, and feeding the poor. The attendance figures had to be capped at 75 million, making it the largest pilgrimage on Earth. Number 6. Ancient Indian civilization is the oldest in the world. We often look to ancient Greece and ancient Egypt, but Indian civilization dates back to 2400 BC, when it was split into 16 monarchies known as the Mahajanapadas. There are even authenticated human remains that date back to 30,000 years in South Asia. The oldest Hindu texts were written between 2000 and 500 BC, as well as the first texts on science, medicine, and astronomy. We actually owe the number 0 to Indian mathematics, who created the concept. Number 7.
Smart as
India
people.
is home to every major world religion and doesn't have a national language. Hinduism, Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, and Sikhism all have a place in Indian society, with the most dominant being Hinduism and Islam, covering 80% and 14% of the population, respectively. Judaism has existed in India for the last 2,215 years, and some of these smaller religions also featured, including Jain, Zoroastrian, and Baha'i. India also doesn't have a single national language because 1,652 dialects are spoken across the different regions. Number 8. A polling station is set up for just one voter in Gir Forest at every election. Every election, Marant Barandas Deshandas gets his local polling station entirely to himself because he's the only resident of Gir Forest.
Well.
He's been voting in Indian elections since 2004 and never misses one now that he has his own personal polling station. Mahant is the caretaker for the one temple in the forest in Gujarat, a home he shares with the rare Asiatic lion. Number 9. The Indian government has used scaffolding to hide the Taj Mahal when airstrikes are predicted. During the Second World War and the Indian-Pakistan Wars, scaffolding was put up around the distinctive domes of the Taj Mahal to make it less obvious from above. They feared strikes by the Japanese Air Force during World War II, so hid their most famous landmark. More recent threats to the Taj Mahal include the rising levels of the Yamuna River, which has cracked the tomb underneath the structure. There have been predictions that the tombs could collapse at any time. Check out our video, 15 most expensive man-made attractions in the world, to find out what ranks along the stunning Taj Mahal. Number 10. Indians invented navigation, yoga, the world's cheapest car, and thorium-based nuclear power. Indian society can take credit for some of the most important inventions in the world. They were the first to create the concept of navigation, over 6,000 years ago, using rivers and seas. Yoga was created 5,000 years ago and has roots in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism. The world's cheapest car, the Tata Nano, which costs around 100,000 rupees, the equivalent of $1,400, and India is the home of the first next-generation thorium reactor. The country is aiming to produce 30% of its electrical power with thorium by 2050. Number 11. You can stay at the former Indian royal residence for $88,000 a night. If you want to stay at the lap of luxury, forget Paris and forget Dubai. India is the home of the most stunning palaces in the world. Once the home of the Maharajas, there are opulent palaces throughout the country, with some dating back hundreds of years.
Beautiful.
The Kumarakam Lake Resort hosted Prince Charles's 65th birthday, and the 450-year-old Samod Palace in Jaipur has hosted famous faces from all over the world.
Wow.
Number 12. King Jai Singh of Alwar snubbed Rolls-Royce in the best possible way. India has a long and colorful history of quirky monarchies and extravagant kings and queens. The King of Alwar in northeast India was insulted by a Rolls-Royce salesman when he visited a showroom in London. A very proud man, he ordered a whole fleet of Rolls-Royce cars and gave them to the city's waste department so they could use them to transport rubbish throughout the city. Number 13. 1 million Indians are millionaires.
Wow.
India has one of the most dramatic wealth gaps in the world, with 35% of the country living below the poverty line. Those who live way above it live a very different kind of life. The richest Indian in the world is Mukesh Ambani, who has a net worth of $53 billion. The 59-year-old made his money in the oil and gas industry, and his billion-dollar home recently made headlines because he chose to build a 27-story skyscraper instead of a sprawling mansion. Number 14. The first account of plastic surgery was found in an ancient Sanskrit text. One of the first medical texts was the Sushruta Samhita, which can be dated back to the 6th century CE. It's one of the very first examples of a medical text and discusses surgery, incisions, skin grafts, and nose reconstruction. Britain's first nose job wouldn't be performed until 1814, a worrying 80 years before the Sushruta Samhita would be translated.
Wow.
Number 15. One of India's most extravagant weddings caused controversy because it was too extravagant. Lasting 5 days and costing $74 million, the wedding of the daughter of a prominent businessman made headlines in 2016 for all the wrong reasons. The $2.5 million wedding sari, Bollywood royalty in attendance, and gold Bangalore palace setting was denounced as an obscene display of wealth. Millions of Indians live in poverty, so the wedding was criticized for being in poor taste. There are many stereotypical images of India, but there's so much more to this incredible country than many of us know. The center of many industries and the world's biggest democracy, India has influenced art, literature, science, and medicine potentially more than any other nation. If you could take a trip to this beautiful, fascinating country, where would you find yourself? In a gorgeous Maharaja's palace surrounded by palm trees and rural countryside, or a modern apartment in the thick of busy Mumbai? Oh, you're still here? Here's another bizarre and incredible fact about India. About 40% of the Indian population is vegetarian, making it the largest veggie population in the world. Many choose to not eat meat for spiritual and religious reasons, with beef and pork products often ruled out of their diet. Vegetarianism is so influential that KFC, McDonald's, and Pizza Hut had to introduce vegetarian menus for their Indian franchises to cater to the population. The country with the fewest vegetarians is Portugal, where just 1.8% of the population have cut meat from their diet. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxer. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video.
You know what makes me think even more when I was watching that video? How much even more I want to grab, a rucksack and a bag, just have that, nothing heavy, and just go. I'd like to just stay at the hotel, see them, or at least even the nice ones, they might at least see them from the outside. Love to see the Taj Mahal. I'd love to see the Red Fort. I'd love to, there's so many iconic buildings that I'd love to see. I'd like to see some of the festivals as well. God, even in Kerala, I've got elephants bathing. So, and it's nice. It's like I said, they basically, when you see things, they always show you the sides of things that you don't want to see, where there's so much more to it. Yeah. And there's so much history in it, in everything, that I just think, I wouldn't be one base, all the times we've been to India, it's more or less, here's your base, this is where you're staying, and these are the people you're visiting, and you're not leaving by yourself. And you're I could understand the safety, but it's they put so much, it contradicts, this is what I'm trying to say. It's like a family will say, you got to go to India, it's the most wonderful place to be in, and then you go, yeah, brilliant, want to go, and they take you there, and then all of a sudden, this is your home, don't get up. Wait, I want to see India. No, you've got to be here and you've got to be back by a certain time. It's that after 6 o'clock or something, that, the vampires are going to come out or something go, the light's coming down, quick, get home now. And we had that much pressure that we never got to really enjoy being there, because there was just too much pressure of where you can go, what you can do, how you can be, and you always have people around you that you just never felt like it was a holiday.
Yeah. They always made you feel unsafe when you went. Yeah. And that's the people who lived there made us feel unsafe, saying to us, we need to be back on time. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't go that far out. And it's okay. So maybe it's because you went with your parents or... Yeah,
because the only reason that I always thought, okay, I can understand, but in every country you can turn around and say that there's issues and problems, and we've visited so many other countries without parents and stuff, and you still go out, and you still have to be mindful of what goes around. That's understandable, but
I do understand, because when I went the second time around, I had to have a bodyguard with me.
It was a police constable, wasn't it?
Because of what had happened, and
No, but,
women.
no, but I can understand that. You know, I'm not saying, you know, but that could be the same everywhere though, that's what I'm trying to say. But it's like, I'm just saying in the sense that I would like to just have that and then be able to, you know, go to Jaipur, go to have a look at Mumbai, certain place, go to Amritsar, you know, so many different, go to Kerala, go to Shri, you know, go to Goa, go to all like various different places that.
I think now we
Or Shimla, sorry.
I've been to Shimla. See, we did.
I haven't done anything. I ain't seen nothing.
I've been to Agra. So I've seen like also the borderline. So we have done a little bit, but I do understand that scariness that they put up on you. Oh my God, you know, you've got to be fearful of all sorts of things. But I think if we did it ourselves, we'd be okay, kind of thing, and not having to worry about.
I mean, I'm not saying we wouldn't have like people like to guide us, like, you know, you get people like to come with us and things. It's not the thing, but you know, because they would obviously know where to go and how to do things. But what I'm just trying to say is, I just don't want to go to India, which is what I've done every single time I've gone, and just stay in my own. Either we lived in our house and shared it, or we lived, you know, on the farm. So we're either staying on a farm for 6 weeks, or I was living in the town.
I've been,
but that's about it.
Four times, and I think I enjoyed it more the first 2 times, and then I got married and I went with you guys, and I did not enjoy it. So I understand what he means. But when I went when I was younger, we did a lot of travelling. We were out and about all the time, enjoying the sun, and I like the time of year.
My father never took us anywhere.
We chose to go at the time of year that it's lovely and warm. For some reason, your family like to go when it's cold and you want to stay.
Yeah, they all want to go in December.
I don't get that. So I went with them in December, and I absolutely hated it because it's so cold, and you're driving around in the night with your fog lights on, and these people actually know where they're going. They've got their heads out the doors, and they can't see anything, but yet and there's another guy indicating which way to go, what have you, what to watch out for. So it was quite scary when it's foggy. So they went at that time of the year. I've always been, when I was younger, and it's been lovely to walk, whether it's April, July. I love the heat. So I understand. But no, whether it's just
I would say the same thing, similar to that. The only time I really enjoyed it more than anything when I went by myself.
And also when we went to Goa was fantastic.
No, Goa was great. I loved Goa, but I mean, when I was 16 and I went all by myself to India,
just a parent
and my dad just like, you know, he didn't go. My mum had already gone with my sister because they were going to go to Gujarat.
I need a cup of tea and some biscuits. I should have got South tea and biscuits.
And as I was saying, yeah, they went there and I went by myself. I was only 16, so I didn't know, I was about 17, and so I didn't know anyone. And my father just put me on the plane here, and I had to get off there. And that was probably a nice time I had because it wasn't around, no one was there, like, you know. I mean, it still wasn't great in the sense that they were still very overprotective because obviously I've come and they're going to look after me for my dad's sake, kind of thing. But what I'm saying is I wouldn't want to be trapped. I'm one of those who likes to be free and wouldn't just want to be somewhere, because otherwise it's nothing different to what it is now. As in, you know, with the virus going around, we're all trapped and you can't get out, and I'm sure everyone feels that frustration, and that's how it felt like going to India, going, this is your home, this is where you're staying, unless you go to someone's wedding or someone's house, we're going to the Gurdwara and seeing that you're not going anywhere. And
stay close, or you're not going anywhere.
And it was like going, well, this isn't a holiday, this isn't fun, you know. And so what I would love to do is, like, you know, even if I go and meet people and stuff like that, I get to travel, I catch the trains, might not be comfortable, but hey.
I bumped into someone a few weeks ago, a small couple who travel all of India every other year, like they're always off, and you think, why did our parents scare us so much, or why did our family in India scare us so much that, you know what, something's going to happen when you go there.
But there's people who've never been to India, go all the time, and they see places, and then we just...
I've had a good time when I went.
But anyway, looking at that, that's what I want. All I'm saying is, like, in the next, you know, couple of years or something like that,
do that, and be able to go to that place where they bathe the elephants. Oh my God.
But that's what I would love to do. Love to come there and just do that. The only problem I have now is obviously obviously I won't be coming alone, so it'll be coming with me, but the only thing is that whereas I'll have my rucksack and the bag that I'll carry, she'll have 2 suitcases like
this.
this.
Have my rucksack as well.
Right, she'll have 2 suitcases that she's dragging around, right? I'll be on that train and she'll be there going, you know, how am I supposed to put these on? And we won't be like, you know, casually just going place to place. Of 3 suitcases.
No.
A rucksack.
I can live in a rucksack, trust me, I can. Yeah, don't room in yours.
See, that's it. She'll carry a rucksack because she'll put everything else in mine. I'll be walking around with just a is it toti? I can never say it.
I could just wear a pair of shorts if we're going somewhere, that's all I need, some shorts and a top.
Anyway.
Right.
That's that. So we've learned 15 things about India, and I didn't know any of those.
It's crazy.
So
shampoo was from me.
And not only that, they are very smart people. You know, very rich too. I found also the fascinating thing that he felt insulted by the Rolls-Royce salesperson, so he bought the Rolls-Royces and he gave them to people to like go and clean the roads.
Do you know what? I don't blame him.
You know what?
Don't put a man down when he's, you know.
That's showing you. I find that, you know what, that guy is awesome.
You
know, exactly. What else was in there? Oh, plastic surgery.
That's crazy.
Before plastic surgery was done.
Yeah.
And they were already done it. Now that's awesome. And then there was a scaffolding of the Taj Mahal. So they did. I mean, come on, how that wouldn't have been easy. Yeah. And the Gumbela, where if they could probably see it from space. That's how many people go there. Wouldn't want to walk around naked, but.
You don't die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys probably know the reason for Gumbela. I mean, I don't know that. There might be, you know, what does it represent? I don't know that. So that'll be something interesting to learn. What else was there? Most of the richest people. The 100.
That one wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my jeebus.
I mean, I don't even think if people were that rich, billionaires, would they still want to spend that much? I mean, what difference would it make?
Please tell me that marriage is still together.
Yeah, are they still together?
Please.
You know, because...
People divorce so easily these days.
Yeah, we hear here that, you know, someone spent £100,000 on a wedding or £150,000 on a wedding. Yeah, a week later they're back home and they're like, going, what? Ah, oops. You know.
Absolutely crazy.
Let's just go and have a register wedding and get it done. You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much you spend on a wedding. You know, it's supposed to be 2 people bonding in marriage, stay together for the rest of life. Give that money to them so they can have a happy home and they can go on their honeymoon and they can raise their kids. That money could have gone, like, you know, to so much more of creating their families.
I understand why there was.
But I mean, they're rich, fine. No, you know,
but I kind of understand why people like saying that in the newspapers and everything about the articles.
Yeah.
So I thought it was wrong. So much poverty in this and that.
Mm. So I mean. Everyone, if you got it, I guess. Probably turn around and go, well, I worked hard for it, I earned it, I'll chuck it away if I want it.
I suppose probably use it toilet paper at the moment. Got so much money.
Yeah, so there's quite a fair few things. Also, what was the thing about the dialects and the so many different languages and they all believe, there's so many religions that they respect and everything. Huh?
How much was it altogether in total? 2,000?
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Don't know.
I kind of understood, obviously I would have thought about like the 40, I didn't think 40%, but I did think there'd be a big population of that didn't eat meat. I'm vegetarian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also there was that other thing about they'd done all the India, the ones that came with the 0 number, and
the smallest, the cheapest car run.
The Tata Nano, and also
You're like that. You want to get me one of them now?
Yeah. And also,
4 kids in.
then on the navigation as well. Oh, you want to Audi TT? How are you going to get your 4 kids in?
You have to take 2. Take yours and mine.
Yeah, they've done navigation. That's come from there as well. So, and they're working on this lighting that should be done by what 2050, 2030.
Told you we need a cup of tea. Go through it all again. Can't remember.
Anyway,
crazy.
You know what? I'm going to just leave it at that. It's still got my mind. Still trying to like remember all the things that were said in there, and they were good and interesting. Sort of good to learn something new. Like I will say, fascinating country with fascinating people.
Definitely coming again, should I say?
Yeah.
Travelling this time everywhere.
And seeing things and places that we haven't seen and doing things that we haven't done before.
Exactly. So
will be amazing.
Yeah, like when we got up into, we did travel in Goa. We didn't just stay in one place. We went and saw so much of Goa. I went on elephants. I absolutely love elephants. So
we went to Spice.
We don't get
Spice Farm.
Spice, yeah. Spice Farm. We went there. We'd seen a fair few churches.
And when the saw the Gurdwara?
Yeah, we did.
That was it. And the beach, lovely. What I was going to say was, you guys tell us where, if you had the opportunity for us, if we were coming to India, where do you think we should go? What do you think we should definitely see? And basically give us a bit of your knowledge about India
What time of the year would you recommend us to come? Because I like it when it's warm. And you don't like it when it's too warm?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I just don't like. I don't like it when it's cold.
That's the only time.
That's when I just don't like it. I mean, when I went that time when I was 17, I went in the summer, and I actually liked it then. So, yeah, I prefer that. I mean, I live in the cold, so I need some heat. Anyway, anything else?
No.
That's the video, so I just want to say thank you again for people requesting us to watch this, and like I said, can you let us know places in India to visit, things to see, and what you think we should do, and where we should go.
Say where you are about in India at the moment, which there's people all over who are
That's one thing.
So just
we have so many comments come in.
They're asking us where we're from. We'd like to know where you're all from.
Yeah, tell us where you guys are from.
Is the best location, where you are, what is the best number one thing to see there?
That's actually quite good. That's better. Instead of what I said, what Sreed said, where you're from and what we should see or do where you're from, basically. If you like, tell us that.
And on top, food as well. We love food. So the best food, that's like
places for us to go and eat.
The best food.
And what to eat.
The best, what to eat.
Wherever you're living, wherever you're staying, what food do you think we should eat, and what would we enjoy? We love Indian food anyway. Absolutely. So that's what we cook here every day, as much as we can.
I was at a South Indian restaurant the other day eating dosa, and if you're following me, so you know how much we love our Indian.
And I love my golgappe.
Loves his golgappe.
Anyway, as always, if you haven't done so already, make sure you click on the like button, share it with everyone you know, and also subscribe to our channel so we can make some more awesome videos for you guys, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one.
See you on the next one.
Take care. See you soon. Bye.